Yeah, yeah, yeah. Guess what just arrived from eBay? I bought another Style 7. And it needs to be serviced. Definitely needs to be serviced. Because it ticks. When I compared the beat when it was ticking to this one, it sounds exactly the same. Yeah, this one here, I've got it on the lowest setting. Seeing how many minutes it loses. So I can know it's calibrated properly. But yeah, this one's going to have to be taken apart. This one's like somebody's meddled with it in the past because this is all loose. But let's see what I can do to it. Well, so far I've gotten that off of there. I don't have a piece of cardboard handy to keep the hand from popping off or whatever, so I'm just going to use my, hold up, stand this camera, I'll just grip it with my fingernails. I guess I do need something to pop that off there. I guess I'll use these scissors as a leverage or something and just kind of get that off there just a little bit. It's only pretty darn good, that's for sure. My. Put on there good. Some pliers or something. I would have shown how I did it, but I just carefully gripped it from the sides and just popped it off with the pliers. Sometimes these are stubborn. Of course, a lot of you know that you don't have to take the hour hand off on these. You can just pull these tabs. It looks like somebody's been in here already. I can tell somebody has. So yeah, I'm just going to pull that off. I mean, it's going. It's not a very strong beat. This thing needs to be serviced because it's like really, really slow. But yeah, I'm gonna take the spring barrel out, and I'm just gonna dunk it in dishwater, call it good, and clean it up really good, and just oil it. I mean, I don't have extra parts. I'm not using that as a parts clock because I serviced it. So I'm just gonna do that. Take the back off of here. So on and so forth. You've seen this type of thing before, so I can tell somebody's had this apart already and was looking at it. It's got oil on it and stuff. And it's got slight movement. The reason I can tell because they didn't put the those little washers back on these grommets. You kind of just pushed it through there. And plus the dust cover on the inside, there's a small remnant of it. So yeah, but these grommets are probably, I guess they wanted to preserve the grommets or were like looking at it or something. This has got like oil and grease on it and stuff, so yeah. But I'm going to clean this, like I said, I'm going to take the spring barrel out and I'm just going to clean everything up and just lightly oil it. But I have no spare parts to where I can really take this clock apart. I mean, I could look at it before and after, but I really don't want to mess with that. You know, I could, but, you know, I found you can dunk stuff too and clean it up really good and just put it all back together and it works just as well. You know, if I had a part that was damaged, of course I'd need to replace it. Another reason, and you know, like I said, I don't have spare parts, and that's not a parts clock, so yeah. A lot of you may frown on that, but you know, hey, whatever method's going to work for me at the time. So yeah, I'm just like, okay. I'm questioning the position of the screw on here. It's like the regulator, the main screw's been damaged or something. It's turned a little too sharply that way. I can't let me see if I can like adjust that real quick. Because that's just too far over for that to be that way. So okay, I think somebody might have screwed that up or something. Yeah, the tension on that is like, it's only supposed to go like that and like that. And somebody, I guess, tried to overturn it to get it to go. So it's like, oh, no, it's not going to work like that. And I know my regular is set up right because of the fact that it's like, okay, my spring's set up the same way, the spring and everything. I made sure mine was correct. It's sitting in the same position and everything on there, so I know it's good to go. You know, so this does work. It's got a very weak movement to it. It just needs to be cleaned up really good, it feels like. It's got a lot of old oil and grease and stuff on it. I'm just going to like clean it up or try to. But I'm sitting like, yeah, I'm looking at that and I'm like, that balance wheel feels, and it's right where it should be. It's just a little loose. Tighten it up, all the way where it doesn't move anymore, then loosen it up. I'll do that again. I'll get the spring barrel out. Sorry, hit the noses. And I've got safety goggles on, but I don't have any latex gloves to take this apart. I know a lot of people are like, oh man, you ought to be doing this. I know. But I'm like, let's keep a firm grip on it. Let that tension off of there. And it seems like it's ticking along pretty good. It's got a pretty good movement right now. The beat's exactly the same. It's precisely the same as that clock. So I'm like, okay, I can hear it and watch it moving and stuff and listen to it. I'm like, oh yeah. As I can tell by ear. So I know I can compare it with a good beat on another clock. So and I'm like, hey man, you shouldn't be doing that. I'm like, well, right? Trying not to get all my screws mixed up. So I'm like, yeah. This one, well, I guess the Clockworks is about the same size. They did a little bit different on some things. This might be a little bit later model 50 style 7. So let's take that off. So I'm just getting a good grip on that. I don't have any gloves on, any latex gloves. The gloves I do have are like way too big for this, so I'm not even going to attempt that. So yeah, pull that off of there. Lose the grip on that. Prop. Oops, it's losing tension. Yeah. Pull that to get that out. There we go. I've got it out of there. I'm just going to carefully let off the tension on it. See, this wheel here isn't stem's not bent on it. And they did improved the gear. Yeah, worked the gear on the clock. The stop works on it. It's supposed to be a slightly later model of style 7. That's good though. I like that. Well, what I got going on here right now, I'm about to fill this with hot soapy water. That's how I usually wash them, because I don't have the proper setup. Where I've got extra clock parts because I screwed something up or I need to repair something. Everything is moving in this clock, so gotta let that water heat up. Swish this around for a few minutes, let it set, then dry it off with I have a heat gun that I dry it off with. So yeah, put it on low. A heat gun's basically a turbocharged hair dryer anyway, so yeah. Whew. Get something stinky in the sink. Phew. At least it wasn't a turd. Yeah. But man, I was anxious about this all day. And the good thing about it, the manager, Miranda Roberts over here now, she's actually having people sign off on a checklist to make sure the package belongs to them. Because I'm not the only one that's been having that problem. People not getting their packages. This whole delivered to agent for final delivery by the postal carrier. Which is like, yeah. Sometimes we tend to forget that we're not the only ones that have problems, and there are people out there with a lot worse problems. But yeah, I'll switch this around a little bit. Yeah, I wanted to take the main spring barrel off because I didn't want to, I probably need to clean that too. I'll just clean it separately. Then I'll put some axle grease in there. I like using grease on those, man, because that's like a really heavy part, heavy duty. And dish, laundry soap or dish soap, it has detergent in it. Detergent will dissolve oil. A lot of you know that. The greaser, Simple Green's good. Like Greg at Gregola Horology Club. He has a lot of cool stuff that I've been learning. Some of the stuff I'm just kind of doing my own thing too and learning. Boy. Hands all wet. Crap, that soap around. this up. Right now, I'm just taking a toothbrush. I'm kind of just scrubbing. I'm trying to make sure I don't nail the hairspring. I've run a few of those before. They say, you should take that out. So I'm just going, oh, I can leave it in there too. So this is quick and easy. Just got to be careful. So I don't have any spare parts, so I've got to be careful. But yeah, that should do it right there. So this is just a cheap, easy method. I mean, this isn't the way a lot of people would recommend doing this. But I mean, I'm going to dry it off and whatever. And I can already feel, it's all that grime and oil and stuff that was on there is gone. So yeah. Move this over here. I don't have my hands in front of the camera right now. My bad. Look at that palm. Oh, never mind. I almost said something I shouldn't say on YouTube, but you can see what I'm doing now. I'm taking my glorified hair dryer, my Wagner, and I'm going over this a little bit. Not getting too close. I don't want to frazzle the hairspring. The heat will cause it to expand. So I don't want that. Getting a little closer here. As usual, I'm totally an organized person, right? Oh. Trying to keep all the screws and everything on this paper towel so I can keep track of them. So this metal container over here, it's already got one from another cloth I'm working on. So. I took the main hairspring out on that one. I used super glue to dab that and secure it. I mean, I'm gonna get some red hair polish, red fingernail polish. And then do that. Using some 3-in-1 oil dabbed on a. Like I said, I usually use a bread tie as my oiler. It's thin enough, it's almost like a needle anyway, so yeah. Little dab will do you, like Brill cream, right? I was going to try to take the spring barrel apart, but I don't have 2 blocks of wood to really get this between so I can knock that off. And I don't want to take this gear off of here because I've learned that kind of messes it up, the tension on it when you put it back on the teeth. And so you're supposed to take it off this way here, so I'm like, well, not unless I really have to, and it feels like it's moving pretty good. I'm probably just going to put some 3-in-1 oil in there and just call it good. I know I said I was going to put some grease, but it's just kind of like, how do I get grease in there without tearing it completely apart? So the movement on this is pretty good, so why risk it if I don't have to, right? Yeah, I looked around, and I looked on Greg's channel at the Gregola Horology Club, and what I need something like a light switch plate. I need 2 blocks of wood, which I don't have. I have this desk. I could probably do that, but it's not stable enough. I don't want to be knocking things all over the place and taking stuff off just to take that off of there. So I'm just going to put oil in it. I've already put some down in there. But yeah, I'll just do that. Actually worked out pretty good, Said I don't have the setup for that. I just washed it out really good and then pumped it full of oil. Some of the oil's running out. Some of the water too, probably. Yeah, it smells like oil chiefly. And that's oil. Yeah, got that done. I don't have an official oiling device, but I'm just going to use this right here. My lamp, just lightly oil all the key points, all the arbors, pivot points for the arbors, I should say. Sorry. You can see that. More light over here. What a busy area. Not how I clutter things up and I get mad about it. So human. Try to like oil everything up where it can be seen. It's probably there we go, that's better. I'll hold the phone. So just a little dab will do, like Brill cream, or a dab of oil for the mainspring or the mainspring pivots. This is for the escapement wheel for the alarm. Well, you know that. Every second tooth on that. So I got that one, got that one. I think I've got that one yet. I did, I don't remember getting it, but okay. There we go. I'm gonna sand a bit of oil on that. I'm not going to take the balance wheel out to oil the balance cups. I'm just going to kind of go in there and let it kind of run down a little dab of it. Just for the alarm hammer. Right here. On the escapement wheel right there. I got to flip it over. Dang, I don't get too much. Flip this puppy over. Same thing, splattering oil everywhere. Do all the pivots on this side. Okay, a little bit there. Put it there on that. Put that one right there. Try to make sure I'm not missing anything. That might be a little bit of dirt or something on there. I took a hairbrush to it. It has a little bit of dirt and sludge on there. I took a toothbrush to it and cleaned it up. That toothbrush I had turned out being nasty. So this isn't the most professional way to clean this. So I have this is the only setup I have right now. So I'm trying to get light in there a little bit better. I'll see what's going on. Just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, the glare. Oh, the glare. The beautiful glare of the brass. Oh, the tip. Just the tip. Never mind. The edge of that. There it goes. Trying to get it on there. Well, if you know, you don't want to use too much oil. Don't want to do that. Okay, just a tiny bit on that right there. Put some of the alarm knob here. I don't have an old clock case I can use for this, so I'm just going to do what I can do. Some on that. Yeah, right there on that. And the escapement wheel and the alarm, I'm going to put some oil like you're supposed to do like every two teeth. And that it stand up right there. We go. That's what you're supposed to every second tooth, I believe. I don't know. Try to get every second tooth in there. I'm going to put some on the pallet fork, the pivots, or the pallet fork. Let's see if you can see that. See it or not. Try to make sure you can see down what I'm doing. Trying to zoom this in just a minute. Zoom up. Yeah, well. some of this clutter. Those pivot points on the pallet fork there. I'll have to go in here and do the other one. Okay. Let's see what I'm doing here. Now I'm going to do the impulse pin, which you can see right there. Try to get it on there. Keep getting it everywhere else. Crap, man. There it goes. Tiny dab on that. Now we'll. Oh gosh, hold up a minute. We'll put some on the balance cups since the movement's not working. So I'm not going to take the out of the balance cup. The balance cup's out. I'm going to get some oil down inside there, inside the balance cup, so it'll work its way down in there on that side. And on the top one, see what I'm doing or not. But try to get in there. You finally got it in there. Okay. Put a little bit on the stop works. It's got some on the side there, but okay, I believe that's everything it needs to be oiled. Put a little bit on this main teeth of the alarm escapement. I'm going to wind it up and see how that works before I put it all back together. The mainspring and the stem on this one, the arbor on it, are in much better shape. So I'm like, that's interesting. See, my other clock, it doesn't have that clicker on it. I guess the spring must have broke on it or something. That was a very interesting sound. Oh, it started ticking immediately upon winding. For the most part, it did. Beat sounds pretty good on it. It's got a good motion to it so far. The beat, yeah, the motion's correct on it, so. It's got a healthy motion to it, just like my other one does. So the beat's correct, I know that. Yep. It wasn't working that good before I cleaned it, that's for sure. Woo! Yes, sirree. Oh my, that's got good motion to it. This goes to show you can clean it up without, if you don't have the facilities to really take it apart, you can just do what you can with what you have, Yeah. Oh, that's got some good motion. It's got a healthy tick just like the other one does. That's what you want. It just sucks I don't have those darn flat little washers though. That's what sucks. Well, I don't have any extra of the small washers, but I just incidentally these these tabs on this light wall switch plate are just exactly the right diameter to go over those grommets on the back of this clock and to, you know, tighten it up. So I'm going to do that. Yeah. Successful. I didn't put one on this one over here. Show it because I didn't have a grommet on it, and it wouldn't really draw it up anyway. But those actually work. Something if you know if you got an old light switch plate laying around somewhere, not a light switch plate, but a light switch, and it has those ears on it. You can use that. Worked out pretty good. Now compared the beats and the movement, it's precise. When I first got this thing, it wasn't moving, but when I cleaned it up and oiled it, boy, it's hauling booty. Hauling ass, boy, just like the other one is. Well, got it back together. Gotta finish putting one screw in here. Darn video got cut a little short because I ran out of space, but oh boy. I almost forgot to put that decorative piece back on there. I'm like, oh no. Let's put this over here. If it shuts off again, I apologize. It's just, yeah. Put this thing back together here. It's just. Decorative piece to slide in there. I usually try to tighten up one screw first, then like work that in there. I'll have to take that all the way off. That would suck and put it all back together again. There it goes. I can tighten that back down there and put that last screw in. Real good to go there. So this one I don't have a bunch of different haphazard screws that don't originally go with the clock. Hey, just use what you can, right? Make it work. Squeeze that tight. There we go. Get that base back on there. She's locked down. Looking pretty good, just like the other one is. The other one's got an equally healthy beat on it, which is good. I think tonight so I make sure this one's in good shape. I'm going to use this as my alarm clock. Well, they're both good clocks. It needs a little paint on it, but I actually have some black paint over. I might touch that up. But yeah. Hey, thanks for taking the time to watch my video. You know, it's like I said, it's not a professional cleaning job, but you can do it like that. Just dry it off really good. And make sure you oil everything up or grease everything, but don't over oil it, you know, because you don't want it to run really fast. And you don't take the balance ring out. Just be careful when you're cleaning it to not mess it up with the brush. And I'll show you that brush real quick. You know, because I'm still pretty new at this. So I'm learning. I'm kind of getting my own groove at the same time. This is that frickin' brush, man. Yeah, that's from that clock. Well, I've got the clock back together. It's working right now. So I got to set it halfway across on the dial. So I had to whoever, I guess they thought, hey, if I keep turning it this way, it'll go faster. There's a limiter on that. That's why I'm like, well, I've got it set right there. I figure it's roughly halfway on the regulator, so I'm like, yeah. I may touch that up with some black paint that I have. I don't know. So I'm waiting for the other one to kind of, you know, see how it's going to do on the slowest setting, then I'll gradually adjust it. But yeah. Well, thanks for taking the time to watch the video. I know I got cut off early. I was trying to do my exit speech or whatever. But, as always, most importantly, In the name of Jesus Christ the Lord, be blessed, be safe, be healthy, and be at peace. I am out till next time. Bye.